Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. Welcome to Careers with Sudhir, where we are going to discuss how exactly to choose your stream in class 11. Let me tell you, if you are a class 10 student going into class 11, or if you are the parent of a class 10 student going to class 11, this video you should definitely not miss. Even if you are an educator or a teacher in a school, please see this video so that you can accordingly guide your set of students. Okay, so let's get started. So how do we choose our stream? This is generally the way I discussed about the mistakes we made. I'm just going to do a quick recap, because 90% of the students who pass out of class 10 choose their stream in class 11 on the basis of what his or her friend does, or on the basis of your PCB marks or PCM marks in class 10. That is a wrong method to follow, because in class 11 what happens is that the reality hits them. Oh, the mathematics is so tough, the physics is so tough, and then starts the moment of regret. I do not want any student listening to this video to go through that regret. So I'm going to tell you things in this video which probably no other career counselor will tell you. Okay, I'm going to give you a professional lowdown on what is the reality in today's world in 2026, where we are swamped by AI. Okay, so because at SWS, I believe in giving you an informed reality check. ये नहीं कि नो कि अरे कॉमर्स ले लो, you can become a chartered accountant. Humanities ले लो, you can do this as a law degree. Journalism, media world, etc., etc. Fashion technology, science ले लो, you appear for NEET, appear for JEE, हो जाएगा. I do not do dukandari. So I'm not trying to brainwash you with, oh, we have produced this topper. So that means even if you got 70% in class 10, even then you can crack IIT. No, that is brainwashing you. That is showing you a dream which will never come true. Please do a reality check for yourself, so that in the next 5 years, when the jobs are going to be scarce, at least you are in a situation where you can get employed. That has to be your target. So please do not blindly follow the herd. Do not fall for the dukandari done by various coaching institutes. They may have produced a topper. It does not, unfortunately, mean that you are also going to be a topper. You need to know कि तुम कितने पानी में हो. Only then you will be able to take the right decision. Okay. So let me start by telling you which are the careers which are going to get affected by AI. Okay, let's be very honest about this. The first one is the doctor. Now, why do I say doctor? Sir, क्या डॉक्टरों की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी? पड़ेगी. लेकिन it is going to change from what the situation is right now or what the situation was in the last 5 years. The doctor, especially the general physician, is going to get affected, because now you have AI tools which can scan X-rays, which can check your symptoms. It can even detect lung infections, even early stage cancers, more accurately and faster than human doctors. So what will happen in the next 1 or 2 years is that 90%, and I see this happening in a lot of hospitals already, the city hospitals, that 90% of your hospitals will use AI-driven diagnostics, not human-driven diagnostics. So you will not need to visit a doctor. You will not need to pay the consultancy fee. You will not need to wait in a queue. So you can depend on an AI-driven app to be able to do all that. So general physicians, okay, who are basically diagnosing, okay, you have a viral infection, uske liye next 5 din ye dawai le lo. You do not need to do that. So general physicians will have to metamorphose into health coaches who will help your long-term recovery, your mental and emotional well-being. They will see, based on your genetics, based on your past medical history, what is it that you need to change in your diet, in your lifestyle, what kind of exercise you need, etc., etc. So what you will have is health coaches, not general physicians. The one set of doctors who obviously will be in demand will be the surgeons. Here also, robotics is likely to do a lot of the things, but surgeons, highly trained surgeons, will still be in demand. but that's many years down the line when you will get that experience to be able to do so. So those of you who are sitting, NEET kar lenge, government medical college ho jayega, meri life set ho jayegi. Sorry to disappoint you. There is going to be a lot of change in the world of medicine. So you need to be aware of that before you take that decision. Okay, my job is to make you aware so that you sit with your parents and then you decide. Okay, as a professional career counselor, it is my job to tell you the right picture, the true picture. Now, the second one is the set of category who go into engineering stream. Software engineer, meri to life set ho jayegi. Again, sorry to disappoint you. BTech in computer science, which is the most sought after degree in the last decade, right? My daughter Tejaswini also is a BTech in computer science, but now she's doing an MBA. She's decided that, this is not the career path which is going to be, fulfilling, rewarding. Okay, so therefore she has made a career switch and she's got into the sales and marketing stream by doing an MBA from a top-notch B school. So BTech in computer science was essentially from IITs or non-IITs. What it was producing largely, I'm not saying everybody, but largely everybody was trying to become a coder. Sorry to disappoint you, but AI can now write lines of codes for most apps and websites based on the right kind of prompt engineering. So basic syntax coding jobs are simply disappearing. Companies do not need coders. What they need instead is a stream called system architects, where the person is able to tell AI what exactly to build and make sure whatever is built, whether it's a website, whether it's an app, is absolutely secure. So if coaching institutes are telling you BTech computer science IIT Bombay का सपना जो दिखाते हैं, वो सपना सच कुछ लोगों के लिए होता है. So think logically, what is it that you see yourself as in the next 6 years? Okay, 6 years के बाद जो मैं आज पढ़ रहा हूं, क्या वो relevant होगा? जो मुझे क्लासरूम में, अगर मैं किसी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में जाता भी हूं, IIT, non-IIT, NIT or BITS Pilani or any of the major private engineering colleges, will they prepare me for a job 6 years down the line? That is a reality check that you need to have. The third category is of the lawyer. Okay, now AI, and I know this from various lawyer friends of mine, that AI does the heavy lifting. Though recently we had a case where I think it was in the Supreme Court or one of the high courts, where the judge scolded the lawyer for preparing everything on AI, on ChatGPT, and said, this is not what I want. Okay, but it is a fact that many law firms and lawyers are using AI to read thousands of pages and draft legal contracts in a matter of less than a minute. It is happening, right? It is doing away with, so a lot of the AI, law interns are not getting the entry because AI is doing the job faster and in many cases more efficiently. So junior lawyer roles are actually shrinking, who would be otherwise used to research for cases. They are shrinking. What will, however, succeed? I'm not saying lawyers will be out of business or out of work. No, litigation is a fact in this country and around the world. Lawyers who specialize in human negotiation or complex courtroom strategy, they will become valuable. But again, for that, it will need many more years of experience. So junior lawyer, the typical lawyer roles are shrinking. You need to be in a very, very specialized field. For example, someone I know, I met recently, she is doing something in the competition field, So you get into roles where companies file cases saying that, someone else is trying to do unethical practices and therefore is unfair competition, right? So you get into very, very specialized corporate roles, etc., green law, so that it's a niche area and therefore I'll be able to specialize in it. So if you are planning to become a lawyer, right? If you're planning to write CLAT, etc., have a reality check as to what will be my opportunity in the next 5 to 6 years. That reality check you need to have. Then, if you are planning to do BCom and become a chartered accountant. Now, AI software again can automatically track every rupee spent, categorize taxes, errors in a company's accounts with 100% accuracy. So what is happening is that basic data entry and tax filing jobs are disappearing. So many of us actually use apps in order to file our tax returns, right? We do not go to a chartered accountant. I go because, again, it's a long-term relationship, but many people are doing it with the help of AI. So you realize that again, the entry level jobs into chartered accountancy firms are actually shrinking. What is in demand is the demand for financial strategies to explain to businesses or high net worth individuals on how to grow their money, right? So you need to know, okay, even within the world of commerce, this is where I'm likely to get an opportunity 6 years, 8 years down the line, right? That realization, that awareness you need to have. So research deep as to what I can do. I'm giving you an overview of what the situation is likely to be 5, 6, 8 years down the line. Okay, have that reality check. Don't think life is going to be a bed of roses. Roses ke saath, gulab ke saath, kaante bhi aate hain. So please remember that. So the fifth one is a graphic designer. I'm just giving you some basic jobs which are, which most of us try to go into. The graphic designer, who would otherwise be called to मेरे को एक coffee shop open करना है, मेरे लिए एक अच्छा logo बना दो ना. Now what is happening? With the help of Canva, with the help of various AI tools, you can make a logo for a coffee shop or any business in a matter of minutes, in a matter of seconds. You get good quality professional results. So simple design work like posters, like logos is becoming cheap, in fact, free most of the cases. So those kind of designer jobs, the graphic designer who was in great demand 10 years before is actually now disappearing. So top designers are now focusing on brand storytelling. Okay, they create emotional experiences because remember one thing, AI के पास दिल नहीं होता है, दिल तुम्हारे पास है. So you need to get that human touch into things, तभी तुम्हारी value होगी. Okay, the problem here, and I'll say this very, very bluntly, PCMB students think, physics, chemistry, maths, and biology is the only thing that matters. बाकी सब तो बेकार हैं. Unfortunately, in the AI world that we live in, your communication skills, your writing skills, your ability to express, your ability to articulate, to tell a story is what is going to make you more valuable than physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. I'm not saying they are not important, but this is what is going to give you that edge over anyone else. सभी के पास maths, physics, biology वगैरह की degree होगी, लेकिन how would you differentiate between A and B is whether B is more articulate, more communicative, more expressive than A. So focus on your ability to communicate, to express, to write, to articulate, to be able to tell a story. That is what is going to make the whole difference. Please remember this very, very clearly. In the next decade, whether somebody is employed and employed well, and whether somebody is not employed or not employed well, that is going to be the difference. Degree से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. No firm really cares too much about that sheet of paper. In the 1980s, when we were students, there was this major apprehension. अरे computer आ गया. इस तरह के बड़े-बड़े computers होते थे, right? The desktops, right? When it was introduced in India, there was apprehension that अरे ये सब तो हमारी नौकरियां खा लेंगे, right? Did they? No, they did not. Now what is happening is that whether AI will replace jobs, AI is taking away some of the jobs, but those who will survive are those who are able to collaborate with AI. Okay, if you try to compete with AI, okay, तुम्हारी नौकरी जाएगी. AI को पार्टनर बनाओ, उसको अपना दुश्मन मत बनाओ. उसके साथ compete मत करो because it will be able to do things much better than you in most aspects. लेकिन जहां तक दिमाग का सवाल है, जहां तक दिल का सवाल है, in fact, दिल more than दिमाग, that's where you will have an edge. So try to collaborate with AI where you bring in the creative input, which is thinking with the human emotion, and use that in order to give you the other kind of inputs. Collaborate with AI. Do not try to compete with AI. Okay. So if you want a job that AI cannot touch easily, you need to look for the 3 Ps. Okay. Now, in this kind of an automated world, what you need is the human-centric value. That is what is going to make the whole difference. So what are these 3 Ps? The first P is physical dexterity, that is focusing on the physical element. प्लम्बर, क्या तुम इलेक्ट्रिशियन और प्लम्बर और कारपेंटर को छोड़ सकते हो? नहीं. सर्जन को कर सकते हो? नहीं. Because AI cannot move as carefully as a human hand had. Yesterday, I got the kitchen at my parents' place painted. Two painters came. They worked the whole day and finished the painting of the kitchen. Could I do it with AI? No. I can probably explain to them with an AI model, this is what I want the kitchen to look like, right? But you need physical labor to be able to do that, right? So those jobs will remain. The second one is people skills, and this is where I expect people like you to be able to fit in. Teachers, therapists, social workers, wherever you're talking about connecting to the soul of another human being, you need the people's element to be able to connect, right? Which is where again the ability to have the ability to tell a story, the ability to communicate comes in so handy. So please develop the habit of doing that. That's very important. The third, of course, is physical presence. Chefs, nurses, construction people, managers, you have to be there in person to be doing that. If you are in the sales job, you need to go and sell it out there, right? So for that, you need the physical presence to be able to convince someone that I have a good product and it will do wonders to your shop if you actually sell this product in your shop, right? That physical ability to convince someone. Okay. So if this is a scenario, I will now give you which of the three streams will actually work for you. Okay, the three streams, the different kind of careers. It will be very easy for me to do a video and tell you, अरे साइंस ले लो, जेई का एग्जाम लिखो, नीट का एग्जाम लिखो, जेई नहीं मिला तो एटलीस्ट एनआईटी मिल जाएगा, या बिट्स पिलानी का लिखो, मणिपाल का लिखो, एसआरएम का लिखो, शिवनाटार यूनिवर्सिटी का लिखो, you can get into one of the thing, बीटेक कर लो, नौकरी मिल जाएगी. I can tell you the situation is not so great out there unless you are absolutely brilliant out there, right? If you are going to be an average engineering student coming out after 4 years, sorry, the options are not going to be absolutely great. And I don't want you to be a frustrated employee at work. Okay, so what is it that you can look at? So if you are looking at science, do not try to be a basic software coder for reasons I just now told you. Try to bridge the gap between the brain of artificial intelligence and the physical world. So what are the combinations you can look at? You can look at, of course, at PCM with computer science or PCB with psychology. Okay, these two things will give you a bit of an edge. So what you can do, while AI can diagnose the disease, it will still need a human-guided robot to perform delicate surgery. So robotics is a great field to get into. Surgical engineering, great field to get into. If you are an engineer, but you understand a bit of biology, that's the combination you can do. So I've done some videos in the past also on that. Careers with Sudhir mein bahut sare videos honge, which you will find very useful because it is directed. No bakwas, giving you concrete information. Biorobotics, excellent field to get into. Renewable energy, really the future career for the next 10 to 15 years. Renewable energy architect. Then space tech, again, very important with all the exploration happening. Climate and data scientists, right? These are again the new age careers that you need to look at. Do not be stuck on कि जो मेरे बड़े भैया ने 15 साल पहले किया था वही मैं करूंगा. नहीं होगा. 15 साल में दुनिया बदल गई है. Okay, look at these kind of emerging careers and see where I can actually fit in. Then if you are a commerce student, okay, if you want to take the commerce stream, as I said, look beyond the typical chartered accountant job. You want to take commerce and look at the ethics and the strategy of money and wealth management. So what is the best combination? Commerce with maths, obviously. I mean, people say maths nahi bhi leta chalta hai, but I obviously think commerce ke liye you need to be comfortable with numbers. So a great career which is emerging is that of forensic finance, because you need to be able to see whether a company is managing the finances in the right way, in the ethical way, right? So fraud investigation, strategic investment, these are some of the new career paths that are emerging. So what are the emerging careers? Environment, social and governance specialist, then financial auditor, fintech and policy designer, right? Then fraud investigator. Again, you need to be able to read the numbers to be able to detect. And organizations like the CID, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, they all need people, income tax, they all need people who are able to detect a fraud. So if you are comfortable with numbers, you are able to use AI intelligently, bring in the human element, bring in the ethical element, you can have a successful career in any of these emerging streams, right? So look differently. Don't go for what people have done in the past. Then in the world of humanities, right? Empathy and cultural context, they are going to be very much in demand, right? Humanities is essentially comes from the word human, right? So if you are able to understand human beings, it puts you at an advantage. And between science, commerce, and humanities may, if you choose the right path, the world is waiting for you. So the best combinations are a combination of psychology, political science, economics, and sociology. Because when you combine these four things, and I will do one more video where I will talk about individual combinations. It's going to be a very good video. So look for human and AI interaction and ethical policy, how AI interacts with humans, how it is not biased, etc. So what are the different careers? Digital anthropologist, that is studying online behavior. Anthropologist is about understanding different kind of societies, etc. But you are understanding it in the digital context, right? Digital behavior, how digital behavior is changing human beings, changing societies, changing towns, changing cities, right? Then human and AI interaction designer, ethical policy advisor, these are absolutely new age careers, which will kind of, the next 10, 15 years, these will be relevant. That's what you need to look at. And looking at this, you choose your stream. What interests you as an individual? Okay, so I hope I gave you some food for thought. Sit with your parents, discuss this, do more research, and then decide, okay, this is what I am actually interested in. Okay, so there are many more such informative videos coming up here on Careers with Sudhir. Share and subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, so that if you share it, you are also helping another student. And these are not competitive videos. You're telling someone, okay, these are the kind of opportunities that are available. So definitely share videos on Careers with Sudhir. Subscribe to the channel, because I intend to make your career decision an informed decision, so that you do not regret it after 5 years ki kahan main phas gaya, because then it will mean that the next 30 years you will be a frustrated employee, and trust me, that's not a happy state to be in. Okay, tata, bye bye, thank you very much, namaskar. I'll see you in the next video very soon.